You don't actually need tech. You need to set your mindset in a way and tell yourself, I can do this. You can do it through a WhatsApp group. You can do it through a Google Forms. You need to kind of break that thought in your mind that's telling you, oh, I know nothing about tech, and actually do things in a very simple way and see if it actually works.
Welcome to the Tech for Non-Techies podcast. I'm your host, tech entrepreneur, executive coach, and Chicago Booth MBA, Sophia Matveeva. My aim here is to help you have a great career in the digital age. In a time when even your coffee shop has an app, you simply have to speak tech. On this podcast, I share core technology concepts, help you relate them to business outcomes, and most importantly, share practical advice on what you can do to become a digital leader today. If you want to have a great career in the digital age, this podcast is for you. Hello, smart people. How are you today? Today, I'm speaking to you from Dubai. Have you ever been to Dubai? It is very luxurious. I'm actually doing somewhat of a victory tour in the Gulf this April. So I started in Bahrain, where we just had our graduation ceremony for our Tech for Non-Technical Founder students. Then after that, I went to Dubai, where I gave a masterclass on tech concepts to a law firm so they could understand their tech clients and their venture capital clients. And then I'm off to Abu Dhabi. I'm in Dubai right now. I'm off to Abu Dhabi and then Riyadh. I'm very glad that I have an assistant keeping track of all of this. We're actually opening an office in the Middle East soon, so it's very exciting times on the tech for non-techie side. But anyway, let us get back to you, my dear smart listener. Today's episode is super useful for corporate innovators and non-technical founders. Basically, if you have a tech idea and you're not a coder, you will find today's lesson useful and inspiring, because you're going to learn from one of my Tech for Non-Technical Founder students, Zahra Almahoozi, and she just graduated from our program in Bahrain. So listen to the way that she talks about what you need to know as a non-technical innovator. She's quite specific about it. She's got 3 points and they're all good. And also, interestingly, she says that the more technology you have on your product, the worse it can get. And this is counterintuitive, and it is often true. If you hear what she's saying and you're like, oh my God, I want to join this course, how do I do this? Fear not. We will be opening doors to our online version of the Tech for Non-Technical Founders program later this year. So if you want what she had, just stay tuned, keep on listening to the podcast, and I'll tell you about our next online cohort, which will be open and available to everybody. So I'll tell you about it right here. And my dear smart person, if you find this lesson useful and inspiring, please share this episode with one person who also wants to succeed in the digital age. You never know what amazing things they could achieve with this information. And now, let's learn from Zahra. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your business?
So, hi, my name is Zahra Almahoozi. I'm a founder of a startup called DARB, just like any one of you. On my journey to learn how to start up my business. And the reason I'm saying I'm on a journey, I wouldn't say that I have reached the goals that I want, is just to kind of relate you guys to my mission. What I'm trying to do is not just a startup. What I'm trying to do is to solve a problem that I and many people have faced, where we have struggled to choose the career path that we would love to pursue. And that's a major aspect in our lives, because it's like you set a goal and then you put all of your effort towards it, right? But I found out that I was not the only one who could not establish what is the goal they want to reach and how they can reach it and where could it take them, and even like how to decide the career path. So when I stumbled across this problem for me, and it bothered me a lot because I'm a nerd, and I said, you know what, this is a chance for me to turn my struggle, my problem, into my goal, into my passion, and start helping others to find their passion. And I'm so thankful that I've struggled like a lot to kind of know what's the goal for me, what's the career path I want to pursue, just so I can resonate with everyone who's facing this problem, and I can hopefully deliver a valuable tools and platforms that will aid them in choosing their career path.
Awesome. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
what motivated you to join the Tech for Non-Technical Founders program?
I met Sophia, I mean, in the Mashrouri program, and we had like 2 to 3 mentorship sessions. I loved how she was so down to earth. Like whenever Sophia speaks and talks about the tech for non-techies, she made it so down to earth. Like I would feel I can relate to her and relate actually to the topics discussed. So actually in tech for non-techies, you realize you don't need tech much. You can do things that don't scale. You don't need to be so frightened of all of the tech aspects that you don't know, because guess what, there are tech people, there are developers, there are so many people, but there are no people who are willing to make a change, and that's what makes or breaks a business.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Best great answer. What was the
Yeah.
most valuable lesson or skill that you learned during the program?
You don't actually need tech. You need to set your mindset in a way and tell yourself, I can do this. You can do it through a WhatsApp group. You can do it through a forms, a Google Forms. You need to kind of break that thought in your mind that's telling you, oh, I know nothing about tech, and actually do things in a very simple way and see if it actually works. See if you're actually delivering value. It has nothing to do about tech to do a startup in tech. At a certain point when it comes to implementation, but initially, what you need to do in a tech business is to find what's your problem. You need to know, I like to call these the 3 no's, Sophia, you know.
Yeah.
Know your problem, know your mission, and know your product vision. Once you have these three, you can translate that to any developer, any UI UX developer, and you're on your road to do your business, your
Amazing.
tech business. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what we talked about, do things that don't scale, right?
Yeah,
That was, I think, the first lesson I ever taught you guys.
exactly. Do things
So
that don't scale.
how did the program help you move your project forward?
Um, it's it was awakening for me in so many ways, especially that the more you dig in, you know that it's not about you knowing about tech and doing tech. It's about you breaking that mindset that it's not all about tech. And then you understand what tech people will do throughout the process. So you are equipped with the tools and knowledge to manage that team, not to necessarily do it, to manage it. Because as a founder, you have many things to focus on, such as business development, raise funding, and all of that. You can be focused about doing codes, but you need to understand what they do it. Just so, like when they tell you, no, we can do this, you can tell them, no, I know you can do this. And I've seen you can do this and that, and you can have it all documented. So it's a way to safeguard, I would say, like the tech for non-tech was a tools of information to safeguard myself from future disasters, like as much as we can, like um you need to have this, you need to follow this, you need to do this and this, follow like these kind of steps. Make sure you have all of these documented, just so when you move on to the next team, to the next person, you have everything in place. Now, I wouldn't say that I've done everything right, but at least I know what I did right and what I didn't right, and what I need to focus on going forward.
Isn't it funny how such kind of small and boring sounding things, like just writing down what you want and writing down your agreements,
Yeah.
that's actually super key to
Yeah.
helping, well, to growing your tech business, to growing your tech venture, and to communicating with developers. And I think people think that, oh, I'm going to teach them some super technical things, but a
Yeah.
lot of it is just good professional practice. Like, write down what you want,
Yeah.
write down what you agree on
Exactly.
lines.
Because we all have assumptions about what we are expecting from others in businesses or in life, you know? And I know I have done the same mistake over and over because I thought what's in my mind is easily understandable by the other person. No, developers are not in your brain. UI UX developers need to know what are your thoughts. So if you can't by yourself write down everything that's going on your brain, how can you expect someone else to deliver what you want? You need to know what you want to do so others can know what you are planning to do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's as easy as that.
Awesome. And so, can you share a specific example of how you have applied what you learned in the course to your business?
Yes. So in the tech for non-tech, I was planning to do my second MVP. And what I really kind of focused on is when you are trying to deliver value, you don't want to disrupt the whole system of, people. Like, for example, my case, making a decision about your career path. You want to facilitate their current behavior. So, a very important aspect in benefiting your users is understanding their current behavior. What are they struggling in their current behavior? And deliver value in that. Because once you can add value in what they are currently struggling in and what they are currently doing, then you can add a bit. Oh, you have this feature now. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this because they're already overwhelmed by this problem. They can't figure out like all of the new tech stuff that you're going to give them. So actually, the less tech your business is, the more approachable it is by your users and the more value they will see in it because it's simple. It's delivering value for their current struggle, current behavior. That's why in my startup, I was like, everyone is basing their career path based on reviews and feedbacks from their cousin, from their friend's cousin. So I saw that in their current behavior, there is a struggle of finding information, finding reviews, and finding feedback and interacting questions with people because they don't know person who studied this major or went to this university. So it was a platform that will have all of the majors. Everything is on it, so people can easily access the information without having to find the people because people are just there and they have just written down all of the information that they could need. And if not, they can engage in Q&As.
Yeah. So, I guess the
Make
advice there to other people would be what I always say, like, don't just make features because you can, but actually a simple product that delivers the value that people need is much better than a complicated product that has lots of features that basically nobody uses.
Exactly. Like people now, all right, you would need in the future a gamification experience, a personalized experience, a very these kind of fancy words that everyone has to have. But you need to have the core right. If you don't have the core, just the value that you're delivering, you can't add all of that because it will just make no sense.
Absolutely. So, what would you say to somebody who is considering joining the Tech for Non-Technical Founders program?
Just do it. Don't think about it. The more you think about it and the more you just keep it in your mind, the more you're putting barriers to yourself. What harm could you possibly get from joining this program? Nothing. If you feel like, oh, what would I get? What would I benefit? No, you would get a lot. By the way, I'm still doing my business. I'm still benefiting from the course, not because it's been a great material and Sophia has been great, but also the network I have done with the people that are on there. We are still in touch. I actually won gifts from people from marketing agencies and branding agencies from just being in that course. We underestimate how important it is to be involved in the ecosystem. Being involved in the tech for non-techies and such ecosystems have great value for us, not just as material and learning, but networking, which is, as me as you, Sophia, know, is a very important factor in growing your business.
Yeah, and we had a really wonderful class, and Tuyu was really wonderful too. And I think there's just something about, I don't know whether it's particular people that it attracts or that somehow the best sides of everybody comes out, but
Yeah.
we had a very warm, like lovely group. Okay, so
Yeah.
what advice do you have for people with tech ideas but no coding skills?
You don't need coding skills. Like, think of it as simple as if you have a business for cleaners who clean the houses, you know? Do you need to know how they are cleaning the house? You're not the one who's going to clean. You're the person who's going to manage. You're going to hire people who are experts in cleaning, right? Because you're going to be busy in doing the business, finding customers, finding partners. So, coding tools, development tools are not your responsibility unless you're passionate and you want to be a tech founder. There is nothing wrong with that, you know? But they are experts. You need to be experts in starting your business and advocating for your business. That's your main focus. While for coding tools, you don't need to do that. We've learned about so many non-code tools in the tech for non-tech. There's so many non-code. I mean, there is AI in every kind of platform now that will do for you the UI UX, that will generate for you the code. You just need to have that critical thinking of what you actually want and what you want to deliver. And tools and means will just be there waiting for you to be used.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And last question. What is next for you and for your business?
Next. So, yeah, I think I've done 2 MVPs so far. I've learned a lot. Next is the official soft launch coming up,
Oh,
inshallah.
oh yeah.
Yes, yes, I'm working towards that. And you can all stay tuned. You can follow DARB on Instagram. It's my.darb, and you can
That's
stay tuned.
DARB.
Yes, DARB. And yeah, I'm looking forward to launching to the users, launching to the partners, and get it moving.
So this is so exciting. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us.
Of course.